Okay, so to get on to today, I did stop temping, so thank you all for your encouragement. After I uploaded my last video and I saw people's comments, it was like, yes, I'm sick of driving myself crazy. I just have to stop this. And I just put my thermometer away and reset my alarm for the time I really need to get up. So that's over. I have had a little bit of anxiety about it because I feel like I just don't know what's going on. Also, in the past week, a lot of the symptoms I was having have gotten less. So I was a little bit nervous about that. My breasts are definitely not as tender as they were before at all. Like, they don't feel bad. I mean, they're a little tiny bit sore, but nothing unmanageable. And the cramping has mostly gone away. I have been tired, but I don't know. I felt like the past week I've experienced less than I did in the previous 2 weeks. So also I've gained no weight. My pre-pregnancy weight was 108, and that is exactly where I was today when I went for an appointment. So I don't know. So I went into my appointment kind of worried because of the things I just said. The fact that I wasn't temping, I haven't tested in, I don't know, a while, at least since I stopped temping, and my symptoms getting better. So I was a little bit worried. The appointment was with a obstetrician who I had never met before. That's just who they put me with. And I didn't really ask many questions in my first visit because it went way over time and I had to rush back to work. But I just figured, oh, they must schedule you with an OB first, and then after that you're with a midwife. Today I found out that they're sort of in cooperative but different practices, so I'm going to need to, if I want to meet a midwife and go that direction, I'm going to sort of need to switch clinics. But I'm going to decide after my next appointment, because today's appointment was positive. So the doctor I saw, I explained my concerns, and I also brought my chart, so I explained how my ovulation was like 8 days later than what they normally project for like day 14. Mine was on 23, actually 9 days difference. So I showed him that, and he did an exam where he, felt my uterus, and he's like, it's really hard to tell, it's really early. And amazingly, he recommended getting an ultrasound that day, just to make sure that things were progressing and to make sure, I think, to clarify to him really how many weeks I was, because, of course, if you go by last period, I would be 7 weeks. And I just said, I really don't think that's possible. So the clinic is associated with a teaching hospital. So I got this ultrasound. Oh, also my husband came with me to the appointment because like I said, I was just feeling really concerned, and I wanted him there regardless of what he said. And also just to meet this doctor and sort of give me his opinion. So they brought in this really old ultrasound machine, and he warned me beforehand that this particular clinic doesn't have the best equipment, because the best equipment is like at expensive private clinics and in this particular place, but in the high-risk clinic. And I'm just in the general, like called a faculty clinic or something like that. So they brought in this ultrasound, and they couldn't get the machine to work right, to like read the probe. So I'm sitting there in the stirrups, under my paper sheet, and there's a doctor, a med student, a medical assistant, and my husband, and then another doctor came in to try to fix the machine. So I was really glad that I'm not very shy about that kind of stuff in a medical environment. I hadn't had that experience before of like students and all these people being in there when I'm naked, but it was okay. So this other doctor was like, oh, this machine sucks, like, you shouldn't even bother. She did get the probe to work, but the image quality was so bad, all they could tell was that there was amniotic sac, but that's it. They couldn't make out any features, and they couldn't date anything, and they just couldn't see. So this other doctor sort of like advocated for me, and they said, you know, the doctor I was seeing was suggesting, oh, well, you can get an appointment at like a good ultrasound place. They can probably get you in early next week. Just don't worry about it. You know, I'll give you their number, and since you have insurance, you can go there and just, you know, use the good equipment. And this other doctor that happened to be there said, no, I'll go to the high-risk clinic and get the good equipment set up for you. You can just go over there now, because I can tell you're worried, and this isn't helping. So that was amazing. So we went to the other clinic, and they did have really great equipment, and the ultrasound tech was awesome. And so they did the ultrasound with this great equipment, and we saw like everything. It was totally great. I mean, they were able to measure the little embryo, and it measured 5 weeks and 6 days, which so now my life's going to be all bad. My memory card filled up, and I didn't really notice. I just kept going on and on. So I think where I got cut off, I was saying that based on the ultrasound, they measured, the baby is measuring at 5 weeks and 6 days, which is exactly where I thought I was based on my ovulation date. So that's amazing. I could be tracking a little bit behind, I think, based on what the doctor might have thought, or like the traditional way of measuring due date and this stuff, but only time will tell. So for now, we are just so relieved, so happy. It was such a wonderful surprise to even be able to get this ultrasound today, and you know, to be able to sort of ease my concerns or ease my fears. I can't remember if I've already said this, but there was like the tiniest, I mean, it's so early for this, really. There was just like the tiniest little like flicker of like a pre-heart type organ, you know. It's totally not even a developed heart yet. And you could just see the slightest flicker, and we could hear a heartbeat. They turned on the volume, and we could totally hear it. It was unbelievable. It was a lot slower than what I've usually heard people talk about, like a 150, 160 type thing. Because it's so early, they said there's just no way that this little, not even a heart, is beating at that speed. So I thought it was my heartbeat we were hearing, and they said, oh no, that's definitely the baby. It was crazy. My husband was floored. It was totally awesome. I'm so glad he was there with me. And everything just went so much better than I thought it could have gone, or that I ever could have dreamed. Gosh, I'm just so happy. So the really good news about this is that having this type of confirmation, Mike and I are probably going to tell our parents this weekend. We're really private as a couple, and I tend to be like kind of superstitious, so I really wanted a little bit more to go on before we said anything. So yeah, I think we're going to do it. I'm going to have to come up with some good ideas. They both live, both sets of parents live far away, so it's just going to be a phone thing. I'm going to try to do Skype, I think, so at least we can see each other. But I don't know, I want to incorporate some kind of Halloween idea. I really liked, I think her name is Cupcake from Hell, her Halloween poem. I thought that was super cute, but I don't want to just rip it off. So might do something along those lines. We'll see. But we're just thrilled. We can finally get to that point. So my next appointment actually isn't until December 1st, which seems like ages from now. I'll be 11 weeks at that point, I believe. And I'm not going to do a belly shot anymore, or for now, until I really start showing or something. It's just going to be a private thing for me and my husband for a while. So. for my best thing about this week, the end of week 5 and achieving week 6, 6 weeks tomorrow, obviously nothing tops seeing the ultrasound today and hearing the heartbeat. That's the most you can ask for. The other best thing, based on today's information, is that since it's such good news, I've decided I'm going to order a Doppler. And I wanted to wait until I knew things were sort of moving in the right direction, so I didn't get my hopes up. I've looked at renting and buying, and I think for the type of time period I want to use it, you need a little bit more sensitive one to be able to hear around 8 weeks, which is when I want to time the thing to be delivered. Based on that, there is one on Amazon that was recommended by Victoria, another YouTuber whose screen name is AESweetie19. I've been watching her forever. And I just happened to see that same username on Amazon review, so it sold me. I'll put a link to which one I'm going to get. But I think this one seems to be really good quality, and it would be the same amount to just buy it and be able to use it for future pregnancies and, you know, as long as I want during this, or be able to give it to somebody else later on or resell it. It's cheaper to just buy it than to rent for several months. Definitely. So for me, I also had a bunch of Amazon like gift certificate codes, so I got to knock off a big chunk of the price, and of course I get free shipping, and that's exactly how I want. I want the slow shipping that is going to bring me the Doppler around 8 weeks when I can use it. So that's exciting. I've been waiting for the day that I could order that. Okay, see you soon.